Hey everybody, I'm holding here two amazing albums from my good friend Carlos Joe Costa, Renaissance Now and African Science. Musician, actor, poet. I'm going to interview him next. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, Gustavo Ferman here, and happy to be here with my good, amazing friend Carlos Joe Costa and Into the Flow. Wow, this is going to be a great interview because Carlos is my amazing good friend, great friend. I love him. We've been friends for many years. He's an amazing actor and musician. Over 50 years of experience. He's played with so many artists. He's done so much cool collaboration with so many artists, and he's got so much to tell us about inspiration, about the flow, especially with music and acting and all the art he actually does. So I'm excited to introduce Carlos Joe Costa, musician, actor, amazing friend. How you doing?
Great, I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Wow, yeah. And you're looking good.
You're looking pretty good too yourself. Thanks, man.
I'm trying. I got just.
You know, we both lost some weight at the same time. What's
Yeah.
That, you know, we always talk about it has. Now you're in my house.
So in the house, for the people that don't know, in the house means kind of like into the flow.
Into the flow.
Basically means you're cool. You're right into the rhythm of things.
Well, thank you very much.
You're into the house. I'm in the house. You're in the house. And you look sharp with your suit.
Yeah, I got this from a film actually too, and stole it. No, actually, I bought it from on set, which was good too. So I thought it looked nice for everybody.
Wow!
This afternoon.
Wow! So thank you for being here, Carlos. I know you're busy. You're busy, and I'm so grateful that you're here with me and everybody listening to you and listening on podcasts and seeing you on YouTube. So let's start getting into the flow with your life. Musician, over 50 years. Who have you played with?
Oh, my goodness. Let's see. Well,
I know Santana is there.
You know, I grew up in the Bay Area, in San Francisco Bay Area, and I played with, I had the opportunity to play with so many other musicians, not only on stage, but in the studio. As a percussionist and a flutist, you know, you're a sideman. So there's always opportunities like, oh, I need a percussion. You know, I need, you know, like Santana popped up. Friends of Journey, Taj Mahal.
Wow.
The Rippingtons, jazz. My father appreciated jazz. He had uncles that played jazz. So this was an opportunity for me to really sort of go into my definition of why I'm even playing. So I just had these opportunities and they never said no. And it was, you know, it's been that way for the last 50 years.
Wow. And so, I mean, you know, somebody would tell me like, okay, you got to be playing with Santana, right? So I'd be like, oh, I get all nervous. Or with Journey, you know, because they're big names, you know, Taj Mahal, big names. So there's Carlos, young Carlos getting going. But how do you actually get into the flow? How do you feel the rhythm in you? How do you feel the confidence to actually just get in there and start playing with these people? How do you do it?
Well, that was a really interesting journey. My brother actually bought this conga drum from a little store. It was like a floor model. And I was like 16, we were in high school. We had this little, the garage was converted into a rumpus room. So he left it there and I would play. I put records on, you know, and like I said, that appreciation started there. So it was pretty much like I would play to records, and then he came home with his girlfriend and said, "What are you doing with that drum?" I said, "Hey man, listen to this." And I just started beating these rhythms, you know. And having an African background, you know, I mean, come on, man. You know, it's like it's already there.
Yeah.
But did I know that? No, I was just playing, you know. And so he looked at his girlfriend and said, "Yeah, that's my brother. You can have it."
Oh, yeah.
So thank you, Lord, my brother. Thank you so much. That's where I got started. And then it was like, you know, celebrating our African heritage. There were like dancers. There was like protests. There was like, you know, there was always music, but there was like, bring your drums, play to the dance. So that happened all the way into college. And then it went into the jazz band at the college. Then it was like, hey, I want congas in my band. Hey, I want congas in my band. Knocking on the door, and my mother goes, somebody's at the door again. They want you to play.
Wow.
So it was like thrown into the water. You know, you just, in a year, 2 years, 3 years, you're already playing, you're already in it. And it was like it transferred from just jam drumming or circle drumming to playing with music. And I found that I had this gift, that I had rhythm.
Wow.
Natural rhythm.
Yeah.
Flute came a little later on.
Wow.
Some girl had a flute and I was kind of hitting on her and she was playing. I said, can I play you? You show me. She showed me how to hold it like that. I said, can I borrow it? She goes, no, get your own. Oh. So it took me, by the time my third year in college, I went to this store. I remember the day I got this nickel-plated flute. And I played it, man, and I slept with it. I put records on and friends were going, bring your flute. And that was my backup instrument. So it was drums and then flute. So all the years, now it's been percussion and flute, but now it's been more like flute and then percussion, or equal. So I've always tried to present that into who I'm playing with or even my own work. Yeah.
Wow. So that's so cool because, you know, you started playing on your own as a teenager in your room, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what I like about that, what you just told us, is that you got inspired and you knew you could do this. You manifested working with these great names. Because in a way, your energy was so, you know, sometimes when we have doubts in what we're doing, there's obstacles. When we don't have doubts and we just feel that essence of the energy, we feel that the pure essence, it just kind of takes us to the next level and the next step. And so you knew you were going to play with somebody big. You knew you're good.
Then your confidence level comes up too because they've accepted you, says, well, come on in.
Yeah.
You know, play. And then when you play, they say, okay, you're good, play again. So the more that you're playing and the more opportunities that came about and the more people you're meeting, professional and non-professional, it just raised my confidence. So you're nonstop. And then you're locked in. It's like, and then you're working with people who have you raise the bar, it's a higher bar, you see. So in that higher bar, it's like, okay, well, they're teaching you too. It's like you're playing this great quality music and you're in my camp, and I want you in my camp, you know. So then for those years, that's a blessing. That was a miracle. So, but the other thing was not just confidence, but the gift that I had to explore. I didn't know. I didn't believe that I could do all that stuff. I go, what was that? I would play flute sometime and turn around and go, what was that?
Wow.
And then it's going, oh man, that was great. Do that again. And you know, let's have this, you know, more often or in this song. And so,
wow.
Yeah, so I think it was after maybe 20 years, 25 years. Then I realized, I said, yeah, I think I do have this gift, which was given from the great force above.
The great force, man, the universe. And I think, don't you think that when you're playing and you get this magic going, that you don't know you have this magic, you know, you have this power, you're doing it, and people tell you, that was amazing, like, and you're like, wow, how did I do that? That's when you actually are kind of listening to that inner being that within the power within that we have, and you just let it go, just let that power take over, right?
And you know, and I think that when so by the time I was 35, I think is when I sort of was awakened to my own spirituality through another friend actually too, and it was more like, okay, so I looked at my music and I said, no, I want to let go with, okay, playing with this real big person, or if I'm going to be touring, or, you know, the money and all that stuff, let go. I let go of that and said, I want to do this unconditionally, and I want to do it for the love of it, and I want to do all my arts that way. So I had planned, or made a plan, and kept that plan to be sort of a multi-artist. Not just music, but acting, writing, and I kind of had that vision, but I wanted to do it out of love and just let go of all the other stuff. And it's been a blessing. I remember telling one artist, a friend of mine, I said, look, you know, I know you're going to probably quit playing, or you're going to end up probably just doing drugs, or you're going to be a lawyer, or you're going to do another job.
Right.
Well, I was always a part-time professional, always working, but also playing. And I made a deal with my father that I would do that. So I wouldn't just, like, you know, let go and just play music and then be poor. Yeah. So I did that, and I thought that'd be a good plan going forward. But I told him, I said, I want to do this stuff when I'm old. I want to do this, man, to my last breath. Yeah. There's the blessing. Intention. That's what it's intention, man. I'm 74 now. Blessing, another number, but you know, it's one of these things where you're living your dream. So that's exactly what I'm doing, and I'm doing all the things that I have. Wow, and you embraced it. Like that's a gift, and that's a miracle. That's God's miracle. Yeah, because you embraced it, the intention that you had. You said you had an intention. I'm going to play this until I'm going to keep playing. So that stayed with you. You're much like that too. I know. I was like this as a kid, man. I'm like, I'm going to keep doing this. That's fire in your heart. No matter what, I'm going to dance. I knew that about you right from the very beginning. That's why we're good friends. So we, you know, it's interesting how we met, because we met
I was a dancer in this group doing this African mix fusion show, and then Carlos was playing drums in the group. And then I remember coming in, you know, and seeing this amazing player going like there's a lot of musicians out there that play, they are kind of background musicians when they don't want people to see them. They just play good music, but they're in the background.
Yeah.
Carlos is a musician that just comes out to you like a 3D,
put it out front. That's what I want to do.
3D effect. It's like you just feel his presence like and his performance. So I saw him like he's just playing. It's only rehearsing. We just rehearsing, and he's just performing in there. Your face is lit up. You just play. I'm like, I want to work with this guy. And so I actually manifested. I wanted to, when I first moved to Vancouver, I wanted to meet musicians and dancers and create my own show, you know. And then when I saw Carlos playing, I'm like, I'm gonna play with this.
We created Rhythm Sound, which was amazing.
We created a group together,
yeah, and we found new artists that came in, and it worked into, because you had more strength in dance, and I had my strength with music, and it was a dance music production that went on and on. It was wonderful, and then it grew into your dream, and I continued on my dream. Here we are today. This is it.
You know, and Carlos has been to me, has been like also this amazing friend that has supported me through everything in my career and my personal life as well. So, you know, you're such a kind guy that you want to help people, you want to support the community. That's one thing that I think also drives you to do your art. It's not just about your ego, it's about you working, collaborating with a lot of people, you know, and creating a community and something that you believe in, right?
Yeah, you know, it starts with, you know, the compassion, the giving, the caring, and sharing, and how in your inward journey of what your purpose is in life. So your purpose of your music is something that's very, very special. And then in that community that you're talking about, it's a community of artists like yourself, like so many friends I have who are in the music and writing and acting. So I'm surrounding myself, and it's a support system. And I remember this statement by a director, I can't remember his name. He said that the key to success pretty much is surrounding yourself with people who believe in your dream.
Yeah, that's very important.
And then also being a part of what other person's dream is, surrounding yourself around them too. So it's like I want to use the word network. I never like that word, but it's a inner sort of well, the community is a good word. You create a community of support.
Yeah.
And in an immediate environment, and then a broader environment too. Then you understand your purpose much more clearly, and then you put your practice into that purpose, and then, you know, your purpose is clear, and it's a miracle, and you just keep at it. You rush at it. It's like my friend Dutch Robbins is a wonderful singer and producer and musician who I've been working with. He's just amazing. He just says, I can't stop. He's 79 years old now. I mean, every time I say that, you know, we can't stop.
No,
we can't stop.
You can't stop. You can't stop the energy of who we are. No. You can't. I mean, it's not, we don't do this because it's like a job. It's like something you do. No. Like you just go get up, you do a job, and you go home and you do what you love. This is what we love.
Right.
Like to do. Like this is, exactly. To me, having like a 9 to 5 and then the hobbies and the weekends or in the evenings, that's not me. I always want to have, to me, there's the hobbies are, I wouldn't even call it habits, but habits are more, to me, that's what I want to be doing. Yes. Mostly. So to me, that's, you know what I mean? I was never going to be doing something else and then this second. No, this is number one. And it's, to me, it was like, I have plan A and plan A is going to work. That's why, so I heard somebody saying, plan B is reconstructing plan A. If it doesn't work. That was like my thing. It's like, I only have plan A. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to keep on reconstructing it and rebuild it and modify it. Put some oil in there, mix it up, fix it up.
Well, you know, you put it out there and plan. Don't worry about plan B, because plan B is going to be there. And sometimes when you want to take care of some new work, some new directions, then what we call is like you go in the woodshed. You go in the woodshed means like, okay, all right, it's winter. I'm not going to do any performing right now. I'm going to do some creativity. I'm going to do some new work, some new directions. Pardon me, when you do that, then you know that there's another, then it moves into a plan B. or C or D or whatever. But if you get caught up and you get that block and then you're still in A, then it's like, you know, well, then what do I do? And then you get the tension and you get all the, you lose the trust of your own self and you lose direction and you get lost. But that process that we were talking about is what keeps you going.
Yeah.
Keeps you growing.
Yeah.
Keep you flowing.
Keep you
Hey, the flow, baby!
we go back to the flow.
That's it. That's
you know, and so you said something that I like there, and it's how do you keep your creativity going through all these years? I mean, we're talking 50 years for you of all this work in music and acting and film and theater, you know, and how do you keep the creativity? How do you keep like excited? How do you get the goosebumps going all the time?
You just said the word. And I tell people, I said, you know, it's like currently I say, you got to stay excited. I told you this too.
Yeah.
Stay excited. Because if you lose that excitement, you lose that dream.
So important.
Yeah. So I think when in my early years, I knew that I wanted to do, when I tapped into improv theater, this was in college, this is the acting part of me. This friend of mine said, yeah, come at noon, man. Just come down to the stage. We're going to do some, it's really cool. You can do some improv stuff and you create characters. There's no script and all that. And I went like, oh, that sounds like fun. Because in high school, I was just afraid. I was like, I couldn't do a play like that. How can I memorize those lines and all that stuff? So improv theater was like more free. And my life has been like an improvisation, you know, and that's another story. But
I like that though.
Yeah. It's been like sort of, it was like, the first character I did, the first time was, I didn't sit down in the seat. I wanted to go and do it again and again and again. And then I started doing workshops. I became part of improv theater in college. And then I did some Black American plays. And then film came along around maybe 1984, 83, 84 in the United States and in Canada. But when I went home for 10 years, from 85 to 95, I came back here, got an agent, and I kept my confidence. And I just said, okay, now I'm doing film, and now I'm really raising the bar. And I've got a body of work. It's that you know you can do it, and you know that you can bring your confidence to it, and you can play. It's kind of hard to describe in terms of words, but again, it's like jumping in the water to swim. But then you discover as you go along. So as I was going along, it was like, yeah, I can do this.
And I like that, going along, you know, like there's a saying that one of my teachers, spiritual guides that I have, Abraham Hicks, she says, you go with the stream.
Yes.
You don't go against the stream.
Right.
You know, and there's a lot of thinking out there that you got to go against the stream. You got to climb the mountain. You got to just like work hard. No, you just go with the stream.
Yeah.
Just maneuver a little bit, the canoe, and just kind of, and that's what
freedom of doing that.
Freedom of that. And so you have what you just said now. You just basically went with, you were maybe a little nervous to go into different areas, like film over the sudden, or, you know what I mean? And then, but you kind of keep going with that. This feels good.
Yeah, and fear can stop you,
and
too.
Then, and it just takes you there.
Well, you know, I remember my experiences with fear too, but it was more like, and then of course the confidence kicks in too, but you have to really take the fear with you, you know, especially for acting. It's like when you're playing a character, and you know the person, you, is feeling the fear of it. Well, bring that fear into the character and see how you can find those tools to create that character and make it believable to an audience. So
that's so good.
And in my teaching too, I thought about that too. So I did some teaching and I learned. So teaching was being a teacher was like teaching the teacher. So it was like a two-way street.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So huge. I grew with my craft as I was teaching too as well.
Wow.
But the thing is you build your confidence, and you leave fear behind. And we know the saying about fear. You know, fear is only fear itself. You know,
it's something that we create.
It can't stop you. It just you know.
And we create fear.
Right above it.
And I think we can create fear to the point that we don't do anything. It's limits. Yeah. But then I think, like you said, we gotta use fear for like as our friend. Hey, I'm a little fear. Yeah. Like I would call fear. Yeah, I would have so many moments of fear in my life before going to stage, before anything that I had to do, performing, dancing, acting, even singing when I was singing in choirs, or you know, with these young Canadians, they'd be like, oh, I don't know if I can do this.
Yeah.
Just that moment,
Yeah.
you know. But then I would take a deep breath.
There you go.
And I would just, somehow I would like, get in there, like you said, start swimming. And once you're in it, you know you got it.
Okay, that leads to, it's a good segue to this thought I have too. My hero is Miles Davis. He's
jazz musician.
Yes, and trumpet player. He was a great innovator. His instrument was hauntingly beautiful. And when especially as a flutist, I listened, I appreciated him, and I won't say I worshipped him, but I'll say that he's been a good teacher for me, but he's given me confidence. But I look back at some of the sayings and interviews he had, and one of the things the interviewer asked him was, Miles, do you ever feel fear before you go on stage? So of course he lost his voice and he said it like this. He said, yeah, I got that fear, but when I go on stage and I play that first note, it's gone.
I love it.
I love it too.
You do a good impression.
Yep, that's it. And you know, it's been that way in performance because you know, man, you get those jitters.
Yeah.
But it's that first speech that you may say on stage.
Yeah.
Or it's that, you know, first line that you have in film, you know, that breaks the ice. Or it's that first note that breaks the ice, that brings you that confidence to go on. Yeah. And no more fear.
Wow. And that takes me to the next thing, because I want to really talk quick about improvisation and how you can manage the improvisational part, not just in your art, but in your life. I think we go through moments in life where we have to improvise and we have to take over the situation. And in the arts, where we are, improvisation saves your...
Yes.
I'm not gonna say the word, but saves your, you know what I mean, your life for sure.
Sure, exactly.
What do you think of that? How do you handle your moments of you forget a line, you forgot your notes, how do you improvise? How do you take over that? Because every time I see you perform and everything, you're always on point.
Yeah.
Keep going.
You know me too well. Improvisation is probably one of the, I won't say just profound terms or words in my vocabulary, but my life has been an improvisation.
There you go. Wow.
I mean, in living and moving from one country to another country and settling down and, you know, women in my life, different cars, all this, you know, it's like improvise. But it, I don't think, jazz is an improvisational art. It really is. Improv acting, you know, so it was so defining in my life in so many ways and artistically, but to go into the inward, to understand myself in my own journey and my spirituality was an improvisation too. But I did have to come back to a real deep feeling of a God force within me too, and my definition of be, and also trying to do my work, you know. So, and again, I guess it's you sort of improvise because there doesn't have to be cut and dry rules or, you know, something, certain things. It's like, it's in the flow.
Wow.
It is. And I think the whole experience of living is in that flow. And whether you want to have rules or whatever you do in terms of your life and how you're living your life, I think it doesn't hurt to be improvisation. I think improvisational can be a dangerous word. People go, oh, that's a little too free.
Yeah, I know.
You know, it's a little too unstable.
A lot of people are not comfortable.
Yeah. But you can bring some stability into that too, honing into it. But the one thing that this is the term we talked about many times, is letting go. This one teacher told me, a friend, a teacher said, you know, the most difficult thing in life, Carlos, is to let go. Letting go of pain, letting go of heartbreak, letting go of you know, a lot of things, letting go of relationships, letting go of something that's been hurting. But one of the things is you clear all that out and don't hold on to any of the pain, anguish, fear, all those negative things, and bring in all those good things, you know, love, your compassion, giving, unconditional, all this, you know, and that's life. And that's, when you do that, mix it into a cocktail of your life and live that and live that and live that and live that.
Wow.
And then now I'm in my delicate years.
Let's put it like as a delicate year.
That, it's only a number, but yeah, living in the moment. And that moment is present. And it's so important that you just take that present time, each moment, each day. I meditate and do prayer every morning to start my day, and acknowledging everything around me. It's health first, because without health, my auntie always says, we ain't healthy, we can't do none of this stuff, our art, none of this stuff,
Yep.
So you just don't make me come out there and you better keep healthy now. She was always talking
I'm
about,
not gonna make you unhealthy.
So health first, and then family, which I have this lovely daughter and 2 granddaughters in California.
Nice, yeah.
And I see them twice a year, and that's so important.
Yeah.
Definition. And then creativity. Co-creating with the Most High.
Wow.
That's
an amazing thing. You see,
so those
wow, and you're
and then love in my life, and love, whatever. Yeah, that whole thing too. It's like it's a simple package.
It is. You know what you just said it. It's simple, but it's a lot of times hard for people to understand it. They want to be in control. They need to be in control of everything, and in the arts, I think the arts will learn to let go. Where not everybody, I know there's a lot of ego going into the arts, especially in acting. We're gonna get into the film industry, in a moment. But in the acting world, I've seen a lot of the ego coming in, but in trying to control situations, and you just letting go is the best thing that you just said right there.
Do you ever, as an artist and performer too, as well, it's like, do you have the practice of letting your ego at the door, leaving it at the door?
I started with
sometimes hard.
Yeah,
I know you have to.
I started with a lot of ego. But when you let go of your ego, when you, for example, myself, I started doing it because I'm a great dancer, I'm a great this, I'm a great that. When I realized that I have a message, I have a message. I'm here for a reason. I'm here to inspire people. I'm here to be of service.
Yes.
And once when I changed that, everything I started doing, it wasn't about my ego anymore. It was about people.
Well, it's okay to have a healthy ego.
Exactly.
But to have a super ego or this other ego, then it's me.
No, that doesn't work. It comes across.
You're doing it for yourself. You're doing it for an audience. You're doing it for other people. You're sharing it.
Yeah.
And once you got that keyword share, then it's no longer about you.
Nope.
It's about everything around you and everything, because it's, they say, in the Bible too, it's when you give, you plant that one seed that you'll receive a field of corn.
Yeah.
You'll get more than that. And you don't do it because of that. You do it because giving is more important than it is taking.
Yeah.
And taking is part of that ego. I need, I gotta have.
Yeah.
You're
right.
No. We need to unconditionally just give. And in this great miracle realm that we have no control over, we manifest those miracles. And we have no control because it's part of the Most High. He's going to take care of all that for you. But if you don't believe that, then you go back to that, well, I gotta have. It's like, let go.
Wow, I love that. Let go. And so let's talk a little bit about that. Sure. With our whole idea, you just said a lot of amazing things, but then you move into the film industry, right? In theater. And then, how many films have you done? How many TV shows have you done? Let's count them see if we have enough fingers.
Let's see. Let me sleep on it for a little bit. And I'll wake up and I'll tell you. I have a body of work that I'm happy with, and somewhere with small acting roles to principal roles to guest star roles. It's a variety of things, and I consider myself a character actor. I like to look at the variety of things I can do. Not just because I have this mixed look, African American and Native Indian and French and whatever else I am. This walking cocktail of life.
Walking cocktail. I like that word. I'm a walking cocktail.
This is me right here. It's like, okay. It's been another blessing. So it's like, you have no control of this art. And we talked about this too. It's like, okay, so you get an agent. Agent's going to be responsible for calling you because of the casting agent, and the casting agent's going to have control of that. And goes, oh, you get the part. So then once you get on set, then you go, the director has everything. The director's directing you. And so your creativity is under this control of this right? Film industry. Okay. So you really got to look at it a little different thing. So you got to say, okay, here it is. This is what I'm going to give you. If you want me, thank you. If you don't want me, that's okay too. I can go do something else and not think about it. I can do my music. Oh, hi. Oh, I did get the fight. Thank you. I'll be right there.
Wow.
Good. Boom. Date. Zam.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and that's how you have to look at that, because if you get start jonesing like, I get that role, I get that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I did so well with that. Okay.
I hope I get it. I hope I get it.
Let go. Stay in the flow. Let go. Well, that lesson, I think, and then with my confidence, and then the casting directors and the confidence that my agent had in me too. I had several agents, but it's been like, okay, again and again and again, they call you, and then it's like, miracle, miracle.
Wow.
So I got this body work, maybe about 50.
That's a lot of work. That's so good.
Over the years, that's a blessing. You know, it's like
so
I can,
good. Yeah.
you know, and still,
they still want you.
I'm still doing it.
You're still getting a lot of work.
I'm still doing it, and it's been slow, but that's okay. I had a pretty good
That's
year.
the industry, but it's not, because they just like what you bring into the table. And you said something so good. It's about you need to know who you are.
Oh yeah.
You need to really be sure who you are. You can't go anywhere in the world with anything, pretend that you're somebody else, or you want to be somebody else, or you're trying to impress people. Just be who you are, and then, like you said, here I am. This is what I can offer you. If you like it, great. If not, I'm gonna go find something else to do. But that's another thing. You got a lot of things to do that you're doing,
and so do you.
Yeah. And so exactly, and
that's
so
what you got to do is do those other things too.
You know, like
think about it.
Carlos has been my teacher when it comes to acting as well, and he told me that first, just let go do something else, create. You know, get involved into something else, and then you get the call. And that many times that happened to me. I was just like not even thinking about it. And I felt like, yeah, you know what? It feels good. I did a good audition. And then I got it.
And one of the things, too, is that we talked about, too, is discovering, one thing about being an actor is to discover those tools about yourself. You know, it's your life. It's your history. It's, you know, what's made you who you are today and how you bring it into a character. When you understand those things and all those qualities about you, and maybe some pains and all that too, that you can draw from.
Yeah.
And you can put that into the character.
Very important.
And that was very key in my teaching when I was sharing it with you.
Yeah.
When you do it over a certain amount of years, then it becomes like sort of a common practice. You use it automatically. So you get the script, you see it, and all that stuff just comes right into it, and bam. And you don't have that much time. You got about 36 hours, get the script or the sides, you read it, the character, then you do the audition, and they're going to either love it or not. But then you might want to do it 2 or 3 different ways, and have some choices so that the director may look at it or whatever and say, okay. But now we just tape it, and then we send the tape to an agent. Agent sends it to the casting director. They either love it or they don't, and then you get the call or you don't get the call. But you don't be waiting for the call. You just get on with whatever else you're doing. Next. Yeah,
and how do you handle rejection? I mean, we get rejected in life in general for so many things, but some people can really not take rejection that well. How do you take rejection? I mean, is it about knowing yourself? It's like, I know who Carlos is. I don't really care. Or you're like, ooh, man, you know, that hurts.
Well, you know, I think everybody has a lot of rejection in their life is going to affect their life, you know, in a very negative way. A person that has rejections in their lives, no matter how many rejections they have in their lives, is going to be learning. And learning is from learning from loss or rejection. So it's like, well, I didn't get that, but I can probably get this. So if it doesn't cloud your vision in terms of moving on, then you'll be fine. My father always told me when I was a little kid, you know, if I struck out at the ballpark, you know, like that, that's okay. Next time you get the bat, you get a hit.
There you go.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
You know, sure, I felt that rejection. I cried when I struck out. I cried because I didn't have this, or, you know, this loss or rejection. And it's, if you really look at, it ain't all that bad.
Yeah.
And it's just a lesson in your life. Move on.
Yeah.
And I've been blessed with that too. So that's how I've been putting that to practice in my life for, you know. So rejection's okay. It's like, okay, well, I wasn't supposed to get that. That's okay. I remember my brother. I got to tell a story. So yeah, he was a ladies' man. He was really sharp. You know, he was my hero, my older brother.
Yeah.
And so I came over and goes, yeah, you know, I broke up with my girlfriend. You know, it's like he says, yeah. So you broke up with your girlfriend. So what are you gonna do about it? He went, next. I went, next. oh, okay. Get it? In other words, don't, you know, and that was pretty raw lesson.
But
you know?
no,
Thanks, brother.
So straightforward, so good.
Oh, he didn't
so good, man.
Yeah,
next. not much explanation. And then you got everything. Yeah. Oh, right. There's a next. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, you know, and I think you could use that in a very much more, I won't say responsible way, but much kinder way, but not so brash. But it was a kick in the butt lesson for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
that makes
like,
sense.
okay. You know, I was young, 14, 15, 16. So,
oh, yeah.
You know, it helps you with the confidence too. It's like, I'm not going to take rejection. I'm just going to move on. I know I can find another path for something happening. And then when you start getting those acceptances and more, rejections like, So what? Yeah, so I got rejected.
Yeah, because I mean, I went through that. I went through that in dancing too, because I was too short. I was not tall enough. You know what I mean?
Oh man!
Or I don't have the look for this gig or that gig.
Yeah.
And so but there was always a next. There's always something like, hey, cool, I got this thing now, and I'm actually having probably more fun than when I lost.
You're not defeated.
When I missed.
You're not defeated.
No.
You're gonna. You know, it's like you're still on the path of that win, keep winning.
Yeah.
But if you are defeated, you're going to keep losing, and that's going to just wreck your life. It's going to lock you up. You're going to carry all this negativity, and you'll die inwardly. You'll die.
Oh, and that's one of the worst. So we need the worst death you can have.
Yeah.
You know, die inwardly, like you just said.
So let go of defeat, let go of rejection, let go of pain, all that other stuff. We know that there's something greater inside, the greater good, the greater love, and you know, defining yourself and feeling more confident with yourself too, and that will carry you forward with a wonderful life.
Wow.
However long that the Lord gives us.
Yeah, you know I love everything you've said, man. Amazing.
Yeah.
You know, just one thing about well, you're such a spiritual person. How does that help you actually being the way you are too when you're in this industry? We work with so many people and different personalities, different directors, different musicians, different dancers. We're always with people. How do you step up to because I see you more as a lead. You're leading. You lead. You're not a follower. You're a leader. You're in front of the crowds. You know, how do you kind of handle all these different personalities, all these different egos? You know what I mean? Because in film, and like I said, in everything we do in our art, we're surrounded by people, different personalities, different, you know. How do you do that?
One gift I have is that I love people so much. I studied sociology in college. I went to UC Berkeley.
Oh, there you go.
I studied that. And I studied ethnomusicology and the definition of music and how it affects people's lives. And I said, well, I want to work with people. I want to do things with people. So that journey to this day, I've worked with special needs adults for about 14 years and retired. So it was a service and it was given to people. And I'm telling you, these people and the special needs, they were teachers too. And they brought me to this level of looking at some of the simplest things of life that you forget about.
Nice.
So on that constant journey of just loving people, then when you go and you're expressing yourself with so many different kinds of personalities, especially in this entertainment business, that when you come into them, it's like you see them as how you want to see yourself. And you're going to feel a vibration that's either going to be, if it's in conflict, then you'll try to find a way to break that conflict, because you know from yourself that you want everything to go smoothly and you want to respect that person, because if that person's a director, you know, he's okay, you're listening to them, but they're going to look at you and see who you are, and that's how they're going to treat you, how they see you are. So I'll bring that person to
your energy,
to that energy to that person. It's like, and I might even do a little humorous thing or something, or a compliment, or just something natural.
Break the ice.
You know, just to break the ice.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it starts the whole thing and it stays that way.
Nice.
Because if it starts here.
Or within.
Yeah. It's not going to be any problem with that person out there. Man, woman, dog, cat, bird, lizard.
A lizard.
Dinosaur.
A lizard. Dinosaurs follow you around. They like you.
You been to the zoo lately? But it's like it's, you know, so that energy that you exude.
Nice.
Or you bring out there, then it's going to also reflect how that energy
spreads, and it spreads into
right.
it. And that's what I find with when I do acting and I'm on set. I just go into myself and I spread that energy and it feels good. The whole thing goes so well. The cameraman likes you, the director likes you, whoever, everybody. The craft people like you.
And you're bringing it.
Makeup people.
And you're bringing it. That's what I love about you, man. I'm just seeing you bringing it all the time. It's like, you know, and you know, there's another thing too, I think is a key word in our conversation here is growth.
Growth.
Because, you know, if we look back at some of our past, even with our loved ones, our parents, and maybe some of our siblings or even friends, that they stop growing.
So important. Wow.
You stop growing, then you'll die, and you become what's called complacent. And I watched that in my parents, but that's the generation that they lived.
Yeah.
Nothing bad about that, but that was them.
Yeah.
They stopped growing.
Yeah.
And I watched others who were stopped growing, but I know that in my journey, once awakened, in my journey of inward and understanding my life too, and continuing my life and growing, you keep growing and knowing and creating. Because growth, to me, is like, I always think that everybody's a teacher to me. You're my teacher. My girlfriend's my teacher. My grandkids, my daughter's my teacher.
Yeah.
My friends are teachers. There's all these lessons.
Yeah.
I can't look low and go, you're not my teacher. You're my teacher. And I'm teaching, we teach each other.
Right.
I had a friend that told me that. He called me teacher all the time. I asked him, why did you call me teacher? Because he's my teacher. You're my teacher. I'm your teacher. We're all teachers.
Yeah, that's true.
And I looked at him, I just went like, thank you.
Yeah.
We're all teachers. And we're all learning. We're all growing.
Yeah.
Learning, growing.
Two very important things.
Don't stop learning. Don't stop growing.
Yeah.
You know, and that will keep your life. And then we go through certain changes and we reinvent. Now, there's another word. I reinvented. 4 years ago, I went through a reinvention. Now I'm going through another reinvention. Just sitting here with you.
Yeah.
But we do. We reinvent ourselves to find out what's next. What else we want to do. Open up. Let go. You know, you don't have to just be the same all the time. And the old tired, same old Carlos. No, I want to be, you know who I am, but there's growth there too.
Yeah,
you know?
because we're energy, we keep growing. We keep,
God wanted it that way.
Yeah, and you know, we keep expanding all the time. Yeah. Expansion is very important.
Good for your health too.
Yeah.
Good for the health.
Because you're good for the health. It keeps you healthy. Because when you get excited, you're creating. Because we're creators.
Yes,
we are all creators.
We're all creators.
You know, and so we're not here to just like.
And don't be afraid to create.
Yeah, and not necessarily if you're not an actor, or a musician, or a dancer, not, but you can still create in whatever you're doing, and whatever in your life, and just keep creating. Wow, you've my teacher Carlos, and then I'm your teacher.
Hey, we have a little time to play a little music. Remember the little song we did? You go ahead.
Yeah. So that takes me to the next thing we're gonna be doing, and this is gonna be awesome because we're gonna play some music live for you. So this is a song that we both created. It's called Mystic Heartbeat because when we have Rhythm Sound, our group.
That's our first song.
Our first song, I started doing heartbeats. I do beatbox, and I started doing heartbeat. And he just grabbed his flute, and he felt the energy that I was... Improvisational. Started feeling the beats, the rhythm. I started playing, and this amazing song came up, Mystic Heartbeat. We're going to do it for you right now. This is we're going to end the show with this awesome song here. Carlos Joe Costa.
And by the way, it was featured on my first album. And I called him back. I said, you have to be a guest on my album. We have to do Mystic Heartbeat.
Oh, yeah. And so we didn't talk about these albums, but after we finished, I want everybody to hear the names of his albums and where you can get them, right? And his music. And tell us what you're doing next for your films.
So this is going to be not technical, and it's going to be very improvisational. So just enjoy.
Here we go.
Mystic Heartbeat.
Here's another one.
Still Mystic. Still Mystic in my heart.
That was such a good version right there.
Thank
all
you
from
so
the improv and the
much.
heart. Thank you, Carlos.
Thank you very much.
Tell everybody where your name of your albums, where they can get the albums, and if you have any social media where they can find your music, and also what's coming out for your acting, what's going on with your projects.
Real quickly, you can find me on Spotify. My most current CD, my flute CD, jazz flute CD, is Renaissance Now, Carlos Joe Costa. And then my older CD I did with Gustavo and some of the guest artists I had would have been African Science, which is also on Spotify. I think that's probably the best way to find me, but it's been a real pleasure. And yeah, we'll see what happens. What's next? The unknown.
I love it.
The unknown. The mystery.
You got to keep on. Exactly.
Let's keep that mystery alive. Yeah, the mystery. It's on the other side somewhere. I don't know yet.
Wow.
Stay tuned.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Carlos Joe Costa, my good friend. And remember, stay into the flow, everybody. Everything works out from there. See you later.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.